Hi, my name is Dr. Courtney Buggs, and I had the opportunity to speak with my friend and colleague, Dr. Kenyatta Gilbert, Dean of the Howard University School of Divinity, about preaching and teaching. Check out this clip from our conversation. To watch the full interview, click the link at the end of the video or in the description below. Thank you. I want to just stay right there for a minute and shift to you in the classroom.
Right.
And how you bring this idea of community to the homiletics classroom. Often people come into the classroom, as you say, very self-centered,
Right.
and visions of who they might be, and not disputing who we might be. But I wonder how you bring this sense of community and the importance of community into the preaching classroom.
No, that's a great question. When I think about what it means for folk to come into a classroom having already arrived, if you will, I never really take it upon myself to diminish their ego. I think it just happens over time because there is a point in the seminary classroom where folks who are exposed to something different, they understand method in a different way, their over-reliance on their own oratory and charismatic gifts become a little more, it becomes a little more humbling when you are theologically stretched. One of the things that I think was helpful, but also terrifying when I attended seminary was that I had to preach in a highly sterile environment. I was used to hearing preaching that was antiphonal. Folks were, sort of engaged in call and response, and one could establish rhythm in the preaching moment. Not so in the classroom. I'd have a few amens, every now and then, but
maybe,
right?
Right.
But there was a different sort of listening that took place in that classroom that made me want to pay attention to the literary pieces and the way in which I communicated who God is. Before the people. I knew that I had to figure out a way to get my theology, in alignment with my own faith tradition and push against that when I could not understand, well, why do I believe this? And so I've met many a student who comes to the classroom having been formed that way. And so by the time they come to me, there's sort of a process of deconstruction that is already taking place. They have had their Bible courses, they've had theology, and they've been exposed to church history and things of that sort. And so when they come to me, I'm helping them to reconstruct something that they may or may not welcome, right? And so that's the place where I find things most rewarding, because the light bulb comes on and students are now accountable for what they believe in a way in which they previously were not. And so the professorial life has been rich for me. Teaching in a historically Black theological institution, that particular context, as the sole homiletician, over the course of 17 years, has allowed me to use that space as a case study environment, but also to develop my own scholarship, right? Without having to adhere to someone else's standardized methodology that I would have been encouraged just to embrace without any critical analysis or examination of whether or not it fits for the people that I would be called to serve.